Greetings, dear viewers. This is George from Ireland. I'm outside the Taipei representative office in London. Difficult to read that there, written in Chinese and below it in English, and see the symbol up high, which you'll find on the flag of Taiwan. So they're not allowed to call it a Taiwanese embassy, and I'll explain why. So Taiwan is an island off the coast of China, and for centuries it was part of China. Now the Portuguese conquered it in the early modern era and ruled it for centuries, calling it Formosa, meaning beautiful island. Because the Portuguese were very active in the Far East. And then it was conquered by Japan, and then the Japanese ruled it. Now then the end of the Second World War came, the Japanese were defeated in 1945. But the majority of people of Taiwan were Han Chinese, the major ethnic group. There's some indigenous people of Taiwan, a slightly different ethnic group. So then the Chinese Civil War broke out anew between the Guomindang, so the nationalists, and the communists. So the Guomindang, led by General Chiang Shek, and the Chinese communists led by the by Mao Zedong, Zhu, or Chairman Mao as is better known in English. So they had joined together, they banded together for the anti-Japanese war, but that was over, so the Civil War broke out afresh. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, the nationalists, the Guomindang, came off the worse for wear, and so they fled to the island of Taiwan. They've been backed up by the United States because the Cold War had already broken out, and there was the Red Scare there. So anyone is better than the communists, and Uncle Sam simply had to turn Nelson's eye to the many abuses by this kleptocratic government led by Chiang Kai-shek. You can see in the window, it's difficult to make out the flag there. So the Republic of China had been proclaimed about 1910, if I got that right, when they'd overthrown the emperor, and the Guomindang had ruled for some time, trying to create a modern country, but it was very authoritarian, nominally committed to civil liberty. Anyway, and then you can see down here the sign. Ooh, well, how can I go in a bit closer? Why is it showing me the wrong thing? Something's reflection of the bus, but anyway, Taipei representative office. Anyway, Chiang Kai-shek moved to Taiwan, and he said he was still president of the Republic of China, still the rightful president of the whole of China, claiming mainland China too. Now, most countries, including the United Kingdom, immediately recognized the People's Republic of China, proclaimed in October 1949 by Mao Zedong. And that was ruling something like 99% of the landmass of China, because they didn't rule Taiwan. But the United States stationed troops in Taiwan and pledged to back the Taiwanese to the hilt. And Chiang Kai-shek was still claiming to rule the whole of China he'd lost control of. The very next year, the Korean War broke out, and Taiwan sent troops there. Remember that Korea had been a Chinese vassal for a lot of her history before she fell under Japanese domination. And Chiang Kai-shek viewed Korea as more or less an extension of China, but also saw this as a way to get back to mainland China over the Yalu River. But anyway, that war ended in a stalemate. So he was stuck on Taiwan, and he died in 1975. And he'd kept coast from the islands off the coast of mainland China, right off the coast. Why? Was it to forestall a communist advance? No. He viewed them as stepping stones to get back to mainland China. Anyway, so China's got a one China policy. If you recognize the People's Republic of China, you mustn't recognize Taiwan, brackets Republic of China. You can recognize one or other, but not both. Now, almost every country in the world recognizes the People's Republic of China, and therefore has to say that Taiwan is not a legitimate state, as Beijing often says, is a renegade province, must come back to the motherland one day, and that's that. So they're always warning the Taiwanese, you do not make a proclamation of independence, otherwise they'll be hell to pay. So that's that. I always think the sensible thing to do is to offer them some kind of Hong Kong status and demonstrate to them that they'll be well treated. But unfortunately what's going on in Hong Kong is not really proving that. And Taiwan is a much freer country now, with free and fair elections and a free media and a thriving economy. If anything, mainland China should become like Taiwan and not the other way around. I've no objection to Taiwan going back to China. The good if it was done by consent and peacefully. But the United States is still pledged to defend it. I mean, why? What's in it for the United States? Not very much, really. But there we are. So that is the situation in a nutshell. Taiwan, sometimes called the Republic of China. So that's why they have to call it Taipei Representative Office. They're not allowed to call it Taiwanese Embassy, because the United Kingdom does not recognize it as a sovereign state. The Vatican is one of the very few countries which does. So they often they pay countries a lot, very developing countries, to recognise them. So that's that from the Taipei representative office in London.